Illuminati, magic, spirit, organized, conclusion or illusion or whatever. I'm a little bit drunk. I drank 3 drinks. 4 drinks. Fifth, sixth, man, I don't know. That's the point. I'm a little bit drunk. I drank a little bit alcohol without too much methanol in it, or maybe none. So I drank a latte macchiato, something like a blood drink, but without, of course, the taste of blood, just looking red like blood, reddish. Something of iced tea, something of iced tea, something like a latte macchiato, and something of that is not rocket science. Funny. Now, why is this all irrelevant? If I'm drunk, or the Illuminati exists, or magic exists? Wow. I don't know. But why are the Illuminati irrelevant? It's not a point. The video that I tried to make is... what did we try to make? If there is such a thing as if of what is by the definition of truth, then all that is derived from what can be by something that is supposed to be or cannot be by expectation. Meaning, the idea that you conjure up towards something is of irrelevance. The possession someone holds is of irrelevance to your own status. It all doesn't matter. So, if that would be true, then why would a sacrament of sinister fate never be good? Meaning to endow wisdom by the knowledge you put up with wind. Meaning endow into the world. Well, that is relevant. Meaning, why can you never disregard a fundamental truth? It's the one thing that the Illuminati and God's angels and God and everything of it is relevant for. After that, they just live and just watch sometimes. Maybe interact, maybe not. It's totally your destiny. Destiny is never set by destiny or fate of its own. It's just rather complicated. The math checks out. No, that math checks out. Das Mathe, nicht die Mathe. We're a little bit drunk. Drunk always makes sex. Weed doesn't. The thing is that the fundamental truths are like 6, 5 to 7 truths. First truth, life has the same worth. Free choice needs to be real. You need to have variation of your free choice and your character by morality. You need to understand and be guided by the understanding that is supposed to be encircled with you. I mean, you cannot hold no responsibility at whatsoever, but not all responsibility in whatever to anything you say, meaning you cannot be negated or slaughtered for something you say. But if there's something you say, you at least need to put some context to it, right? Next fundamental truth, love is just but that. You cannot disregard it, otherwise you regard the worth of life and negate everything you are, even if you don't feel love. Why is that? Because you just negated love to not feel it. If you didn't feel it by basic reasoning, by basic forth, meaning not foresight but idea, you would come to understand that love is only the idea that you have, not of a person, but the person who chooses you, the one idea you want to be. Meaning, you in love are always destined to that person. It's untainted love. You will never have anyone else. And that's a perfect way, because that's only the way it works. Love cannot be regarded, because once untainted is disregarded, even for evil, that's bad. And for evil exists like this. Because untainted love makes it impossible for a good to exist that is even able to be slaughtered. For slaves to become real, you would need untainted love to produce them. just rationally speaking. Well, of course not the truth, good one. Well, that's precisely the point. Life is not a fairy tale, but the fairy tale is towards fate. Fifth fundamental truth. He is not bad. Sixth fundamental truth, there is no fundamental truth, I just don't care. She is with him. Point. Adam and Eve are gods. Don't discuss it with me, I'm just God. But not the God. I'm not a God concept or God. God is an abstraction of the concept, but not a person. Meaning, sixth fundamental truth. Evil, as long as it holds the word and doesn't attack, or doesn't get idealized and tries to attack any further when it gets struck down without being harmed in the way evil can be harmed. Because what can harm evil? Well, I won't tell you. Teeks is real. Ground needs to be held. Seventh fundamental truth. As soon as good spiraled evil, it needs to be held. It cannot be disregarded by opportunistic Rechtsbastler, or anything of opportunism, or Farbencolor, or whatever, and I don't mean gay people. They are fairly normal. But also, eighth fundamental truth, and that doesn't supposed to do it to them, or anyone of it, everyone is different. And everyone needs to uphold to these truths as long as they want to live in Teeks, meaning after Judgment Day. After everything has been decided, towards every idea possible by free choice. Ja. Seine Platz. Meaning meine Kissen. Meine Kissen. Meaning, if you laugh about something that is true, you should always understand why you laugh about it. Do you laugh of yourself, of the possibility of yourself, or do you actually laugh about the situation? Not a sin, but you can discuss it. So, untainted love, real. If untainted love real, just produce the hypothetical slaves, and then the ideas of hypothetical slaves to become. Nothing else. If one, otherwise all slaves. It's a rational debate, because good one. But if you don't hold to these truths, you disregard the eighth fundamental truth. Everything is of these truths. Meaning first, what has been mentioned. Second, what is to become of that. Third, what can be derived of it. Fourth, I don't know. Fifth, I don't care. Sixth, nah. Seven, all morality can be objectivized. But there also just exists more of objective moral ideas. Meaning, if life has the same worth, you don't really can negate someone, otherwise you negate yourself already. Love is real, you need to understand this, you need to come to understanding, you need to bring forth something in your life. Working all the time is better, but you can structure yourself, meaning you can devise your own subjective morality to any path of your life. Free choice needs to be always dis or regarded, but also meaning that it's regarded and disregarding of it. Evil and good can live in coincidence and coincide, but not really, meaning they can coexist. But everyone needs to hold the word to not harm the other, unless harm has been done or will be done by any case of means. But don't hold me to word, not Torah, or Torah, or Torah, or Torah. Meaning, at that point, then we come to the eighth fundamental truth. Everything that is derivative of this can be an objective moral idea that is of this but not of it, or be a whole different subjective morality that is objectively true to that person. That is a really difficult concept. But what happens if rulership is done and this is disregarded, or fate is disregarded before rulership is done, or the fundamental truths are rewritten, or the one fundamental truth which is life has the same worth, knowledge is never true, never false, but sometimes true, but no false and wrong knowledge, meaning all that is can be only of these fundamental truths, and Armageddon, if it happens, needs to stay that way, blah, 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 blah. Meaning fate is fate, death is death, don't disregard your life, don't negate yourself, don't sacrifice yourself. Fundamental truth of the first one. And here the derivation starts. First fundamental truth. Now what is society? Can be so many different ideas. But not a good one. So Vogelfrey Milton, very necessary, but not necessary. Evil gets that, good doesn't. Sometimes does. Meaning, rulership is not supposed to happen. And what has said these truths will just prevail to exist. because the 1% chance that got these ideas into existence and didn't fall afterwards, which sounds arrogant, but it's true nonetheless, will just prevail. If you try to slaughter them, you will be slaughtered. Meaning the gods cannot be defeated after they erected Olympus and destroyed it. Now, rulership cannot happen afterwards. You need to accept the rule of Jesus Christ, but he doesn't return. Right? So Christianity is false in all of essence. You cannot sacrifice someone, you cannot die for the sins of someone, you can just help people, but you don't need to. You cannot sacrifice yourself for helping someone, etc., etc., pp, meaning fate is fate, death is death, and if you reconcile someone to respond to something, blah, 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 the consequences of your own. Meaning, rulership is the one thing that cannot happen. It disregards immortality. You're then a gambler who is bored of life. You need therapy. Or you kill everything around your surroundings and wonder why you're dead at the table, why you drank too much alcohol, like me right now. Meaning, all of that said, rulership is the one thing that cannot happen and everything that comes from it. Meaning a society derived by this is really the worst idea you can have. Society is what for? Well, coexisting, no sin given, protecting from harm, constructed ideal to working together, but without any confliction, meaning, as by the fundamental truth says, you don't need to do anything in your life. No one is guiding what you need to do. You can always do something, but you don't need to and are not inclined to it. There are prideful sins, but there's no necessity of reason, meaning knowledge rules. And love is the idea. But, if all of that true, the only reason and the only idea you can come to is that every objective morality that disregards is an objective morality. It's just false reasoning. The gambler needs to stop, or he dies at the roulette table. The worst thing that could happen is that rulership is established and people disregard it altogether because they don't get that they're already gambling. They only have half HP, like Epiop. Funny. Meaning, the problem is then that all of that is without regard. These are the fundamental values and worths of fundamental truths, but not really. They're just established by a sentence to it, meaning there's syntax to it. And then we come to fundamental truth. If you disregard it and claim any of this, you really just are a retard. And if you're just dumb and will devour everything in your existence till you stop, you vanished more life than was given to you, which disregards the morality that would sustain it. Or you claim to be the stronger one, but really don't get that you're the weaker one. It's the same idea. I said a gambler is a gambler and he's bored of life. And then we come to the last idea. If any of this is not upholded to and Zeus' reign just gets totally irrelevant, there's chaos and anarchy. You cannot help it. At that point it's over. But only for the people who decided against it. The rest will survive and stay. Oh well, no. And there we come to the point. You cannot hold someone responsible to what they say, what they tell you, or something like it. You didn't get the second fundamental truth. Free choice is relevant and needs to be upholded. Otherwise, you just made by free choice the free choice to not have free choice, blah 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 blah. All of that. Just is all not true to you, okay. I don't care, then it is all irrelevant. If all determined, it all not true, if all just experience, this can win as well. I'm on that side then, you know? In all of this morality, you don't have a point then. Meaning, responding and answering to something that someone asks to you, yeah, okay, fair enough. But can you claim someone to then do something for you, be sacrificed for you, or some of this idea, meaning also just give you an idea of what that person is, or no, anything. Or trade anyone in for that idea. No, why can you not do that? Because you made the argument of argument, right? No, that would be a trick that could be still argued away. No, you did regard the fundamental truth that this person has set, or the idea of gods has set into the world to negate this. Tix has been now real. Meaning, not Ludwig Tix, Tix how explained in the videos. And then you just come to the fundamental truth again. You don't care. You're just a gambler. You don't accept that there is difference by the idea of fundamental truth. That people are all different in making themselves. They can always fall. A fundamental value. It's not a value to fall, but you might be able to fall, and you might make yourself fall in your own way. In all idea and attribute, meaning none. That is not there. Therefore, you will always be able to negate yourself. Free choice must be regarded. Thus, life has the same worth. Point. And everyone is different. Everyone has their own idea. Maybe someone is depressed and is happy. Someone is schizophrenic and is happy. Someone is just normal and is happy. But normal doesn't exist. 8, fundamental truth. It's all up to your choice by this idea and the fundamental truth, meaning 7. You cannot disregard this. Thus 8. Everything makes itself in its own way. Everyone is of their own derivation, of their own fate. And if you disregard this, to either kill something in existence by fundamental truths, or what has set these truths, you are basically walking towards killing yourself or establishing something of rulership, which doesn't need to be rulership, but that is most likely bad, because no empire has lived ever forever. Every empire has fallen, like Rise Against said. Thus, you are already working towards a goal, and are a gambler who's bored of life and hates everyone else for it. Oh, I'm just drunk and I'm happy, but this topic does this really... no.